Hello, Flosstube. It is time for my April recap. Today is May 5th, so I'm a few days late, but this was the earliest I had a chance to film this. So I will show you one fully finished object that I did at a retreat that I was at last weekend. My whips, I have my notes down here, so that's why you'll see me look down there at my whips, my plans, and some haul that I got from the retreat last weekend. So last weekend I was in Tulsa at the Silver Needle, and they had Michelle Inc. and Fern Ridge Collections, I think it's called. Yes. They both came, so we got to do some silversmithing. I don't have anything to show you for that. I can put in a picture of the unfinished things, but she took all of our pieces with her and is going to put them through the kiln and polish them and all that, and then we'll get them back. So I will show you those as soon as I get those, but I can at least put in a picture of what they looked like when we sent them off with her. And then Fern Ridge Collections does beading. So these were both things I had never done before. It was kind of fun to do something totally different than just cross stitch. So my fully finished object, well, before I show you that, look what my friend made for me. Isn't that fun? She stitched one of these and then she made a scissor fob that has my name on it in purple, because my favorite color. So she made that for me. So it was fun to see her. We got to spend the weekend together at this retreat. She's from Canada, so I don't see her very often. We've already made plans though to go to Stitch North next spring. I've never been to Stitch North. She lives in Toronto. So it's near where she lives. I mean, it's near Toronto. So that'll be fun. And I might have to spend a day or so with her after or before so I can see a little bit of Toronto. But anyway, we had a lot of fun at this retreat class. I mean, it was more classes. It wasn't just to go sit and stitch, because we actually didn't stitch any at all while we were there during the day for classes. We just did our classwork, and then we'd stitch in the hotel that evening. But one of the things we got was this cute little box. And so inside are going to be little glass vials that you can put your needles in. So you can put what size, you know, put the right size of needle. It's really cute. Now ours all have engraved on the bottom, because we went to this session. They are going to sell these, I believe. I don't know if it's through Fern Ridge, maybe. I don't know if Silver Needle will have them also. But they are going to sell those. And then one of the silver pieces that we cast will go on the top, so we'll glue it onto the top of our box. All right, and this will be, I'll just show you this picture. So we got to choose. She had a bunch of molds. Mine is a thistle to match the scissor fob we made. And then the little glass files that go in there, they have beading wrapped around them. So I did get my scissor fob done. So this is my one fully finished object. Oh, I forgot my board. What are the chances I have anything here that will work? Oh, I do. So here is our scissor fob. So this is called peyote. Sorry, you can see the reflection of the ring light. Let me just take this out. This is one of my, part of my haul. But let me just take it out of the plastic. Sorry, that's probably noisy, but that way we at least won't have the reflection from the plastic. Okay. So this is peyote stitching. See if that's a little better. Yeah. And I don't know if you can see, I'll have to turn it. So there are, we did these after the fact, so they're the little tops of the thistle. And then there's a thistle charm here. And then all these beads. So we fully finished this while we were there. And then it has a lobster claw at the bottom. Or at the top, I mean. It's meant to be a scissor fob. Isn't that fun? And so it was funny, the owner of Silver Needle came around and said, are we having fun yet? And when you first start these, the first 3 rows are a little tricky. Once you get past that, it's a little bit easier. But those first 3 rows are tricky. And she came by when we were doing the first 3 rows. And she's like, are we having fun yet? And we're like, not yet. And then she came by a little bit later when we were, you know, working on the body of it. And I said, okay, now we're having fun. So it took a little bit to get the hang of it, but it was really a lot of fun. And so I bought a couple more just because I had so much fun with it. So hopefully I can remember how to do this. I think my friend and I are going to take one to Stitch North next year to work on together. So that was our class. It was a lot of fun. Again, something I'd never done before, but we enjoyed it. We had a good time. Okay, so now my whips. I had 2 new starts, and I've just got them in the order that I worked on them. So my first whip I'm going to show you is a new start. This was my whip go call. This is Anzac by Long Dog. This is my first Long Dog. So this is what it's going to look like. It's all Australian, New Zealand animals. And I think I said last time I didn't realize what the Anzac stood for, but it's Australians and New Zealanders adore cross stitch with a K. And I stitched 956 stitches. This is on a Witchelt 32 count Platinum Lugana. And this one I think I can just fold up. The floss I'm using is Brown Bear by Gentle Art. So this is my 956 stitches. Yeah, it's a more of a warm brown than you can see when I hold it up close. So I got a couple of koalas in, a lizard, that's his tail coming around over here, and then the start of, I don't know, I'm not sure what that is. Looks kind of like an anteater, but not exactly. So I don't know. I'll have to ask my parents. They lived in Australia twice, which is why this spoke to me. Through my dad's work, he was a professor. He's retired now, but they lived in Australia twice. So I think if they hadn't had grandkids, they might have retired to there. All right, the next thing I worked on is called The Adventure Begins. It's from an Etsy shop. I'll put a picture in of what it will look like when it's finished. And let me show you, it's Nikki Patterns. So down here. And I stitched 1,084 stitches on this. And this is it's on a Bee Stitch Me. I think it's Hot Cocoa, yes. 32 count Hot Cocoa by Bee Stitch Me. So I have actually worked on this some in May. So this isn't exactly where I ended in April because I've worked down here in Australia and Papua New Guinea. I worked on some of that. But it's getting there. So I have to finish this South Pacific over here. There's a little bit more up here and then the words. And then underneath it all will be their names and their wedding date. So if I didn't mention this time, I know I have before, this is a wedding gift for my son and his fiance. They're getting married in June. So I'm hoping to get it done this month so I can take it to have it framed and have it ready for them when they get married. They're getting married June 22nd, so that gives me a little bit longer. So I have been working on it. So we'll see. When I talk about plans, I'll talk about my whip go calls. This is probably going to have to be my priority until I get it done, and then we'll see. I might be able to do some of my whip goes. So that may have to all wait a little bit until I get that thing done. Okay. Next this is something I work on at lunch. So the stitches I have written down are just 378, but I know I did more than that because I worked on it at lunch. I work on it when I travel. I didn't work on it when I was in Tulsa. But this is Star Touched Meadow, and I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like when it's done. And here is where I am. Like I said, only 378 stitches have I written down, but I've done more than that. So I've just been concentrating on this side, and then I'll go over and do the other side. But it's really fun. It's very colorful. Yeah, the colors, that shows you a little bit better how colorful it is. Anytime you bring something up close to the camera, it always seems to wash out the colors. And this is on a 32 count water lily. I think that's also, yeah, Witchelt. So that's still my lunchtime project. So I'll keep on working on it at lunch. All right, the full coverage piece that I worked on in April was the Grand Library. So I will put a picture in of what it's going to look like when it's finished and what it looked like last time. Try not to drop everything. All right, so I was playing around, trying to decide if I wanted to stick with Royal Rose. So I kind of just went away from that this month just to see. And I think I'm going to continue with, so this is everything that I have done. And then what I worked on in April, well, it's not cooperating, is this over here. So that you can see, I need a third hand. This is the girl's hair, starting of her dress. So I kind of just worked, you know, picked a color and just worked it down. But I think I like the order of the Royal Rose. What I'm not as crazy about is all the hanging threads over here. So if there's like one stitch in the next column, sometimes it's hard for me to just do that one stitch because I've got all these threads. So I think what I'm going to do, we'll see, is start all my threads with a pin stitch so I don't have all those threads hanging out to the side, and then still do the Royal Rose and Park. So we're gonna see. So it's pretty much Royal Rose, it's just the way I'm starting my threads will be different. But that was my full coverage for April. So I don't know when it will get pulled to work on again. There are just way too many things I want to work on and not nearly enough time. All right, so my other Whip Go Call was another start, another new start, and another new designer to me. So this is Modern Folk Embroidery, Song of the Nightingale. So that's what it will look like when it's done. And I did order the Roxy Floss Co. threads. So I'm doing it in those colors. And I picked out, this was just some fabric I had in stash. It is Sugar Cream Pie by Bee Stitch Me. So I'm in their Fabric of the Month. I started out alternating between neutrals and colors. And then I said, just change me over to neutrals because I had a bunch of colors. So this was 698 stitches. So for Whip Go, I work on it for 5 days. So whether I work an hour that evening or 2 hours or 30 minutes, I count it as a day. That's just easiest for me to keep up with. I think I forgot to tell you the Grand Library, I did 1,050 stitches. On my full coverage, I'm doing them as a prompt in the Full Coverage Fanatics, I think is the name of the group, where you do by the numbers, and I do 1,000, so I do 1,000 on them each month. Okay, and then this one wasn't in my plans at all to work on, but I took it with me to Tulsa and ended up working on it instead of anything else. I was going to work on my, the adventure one for my son, but it was too hard to hold in hand, and of course I didn't have my stand with me. So this is Seasons of the Heart by With Thy Needle and Thread, and I'm working on the spring one. Oh, and I'll have to show you in my stash. Somewhere in my stash here of what I bought, I'm not going to be able to find them in my, we found some, here they are, some buttons. Looks like a French. So instead of doing the finishing that they show where you cut out the words that come with the pattern, we're thinking we may do these buttons. My friend Michelle picks them up too. So this is where I am on this one. I did 518 stitches. And that's where it is now. This, I think, is on Vintage Country Mocha. 32 count. Much warmer. So I did the roof and those flowers above the roof, the windows and everything in the roof and the flowers above, and then the little white accents there. That's what I did last weekend while I was in Tulsa. But I just wanted something a little bit smaller to work on, because we were just in a hotel room, so you don't have all of your paraphernalia with you. Okay, those are all of my whips that I worked on. So we'll talk about Whip Go and my plans for next month. Again, that may all change. I may be just working on my son's piece until I get it finished. The first number called was 19. If you're new to my channel, I picked designers this year on my Whip Go board. My thought was that I would not start another project for designer until I had finished one. I haven't stayed quite true to that, but so far not too bad. So this is Madame Lafay, I'm not sure how you say it. Bord de Mer. And this is where I will be starting from. So I've got probably a third of it done. And last time I was working on this coral, so I'll probably continue to work down there if I get a chance to work on it. And then I did buy last summer another piece by her that to me looks kind of like a companion piece to this one. And my hope is that someday I'll have them both done and put them in my bathroom that kind of has a beach theme. And then the other number, so they did call 3 numbers. One of them was number 13, which was in the middle, and I didn't put a project on that one, so it was just a free space for me. So I still only have 2 projects for this month. So the other number called was number 5, which is the drawn thread. And the drawn thread one I'm working on is Butterfly Garden. So pretty. And she has such fun specialty stitches in there too. So this is where I am overall. So I'm a little bit over halfway because I think that house is halfway. But that's what I'll be working on, is on the other side of the house. Some of the little butterflies or bees are over 1. You've got specialty stitches in these flowers. And then you have the names of the flowers back stitched underneath. So it's really a fun chart and something a little bit different to work on. All right. So that's my other Whip Go, if I get a chance to work on them. If not, I'll have to catch them up later. And then my full coverage, so no, I'm sorry, my other, so I spin, I have my 2 Whip Goes, then I spin a wheel just for another designer, and then I spin a wheel for my full coverage. And so the miscellaneous spin, I call it, was Madame Chantilly. And I don't have anything started of hers. I have a whole bunch of these Celebrate patterns. So I picked out 4th of July, Celebrate 4th of July. And so I picked up, when I was at my LNS the other day, Heroic by Picture This Plus. So if you're not familiar with it, it has some blues and red in it. It's a real neutral, but it has those blues and reds. And then they said you could use Bandana and Wavy Navy instead of just DMC. And then the rest is DMC. So I've got everything kitted up for that. I would really love to start that. I love all of those, and I haven't started any of them. So we'll see. And then the full coverage that I pulled is Riverwalk Charm. So I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. And this is where I am now. This is probably, other than my small quick stitch, this is the one I have the furthest along. And this one, I'd started going everywhere. Then I changed it to diagonal, and now I'm converting it over to Royal Rose. So I'll probably continue to do that, and again, just do my pin stitch starts, but still do the Royal Rose. That's really pretty colors. And it's amazing how much, for some reason, seeing it on camera, it looks better than seeing it in person. I've heard other people say that too. So that's the full coverage that was pulled, that I spun, but there is a Facebook group for Stitches So Beautiful, SEW, and she has a challenge going on for the month of May that if you post progress every Friday, you had to post a starting picture last Friday, and then if you post progress every Friday, then you will get, I think, a coupon or something. No, you get a free chart. That's right, she's got a free chart. It's a butterfly. I love butterflies. Butterfly, like in an oval shape. It's very pretty. So I went ahead and posted a starting picture for a new, I don't have any of hers started. So it's Woman in a Field of Flowers. You've probably seen it, but I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. So I may start that and try and work on it, and maybe just work on it 1 or 2 days a week as a break from the one for my son, so that I can get that free chart, because it's going to come out, but not for another year. And you know, I don't want to wait a whole year for it. Sorry, some crinkling. I'm just putting my board that I was using, my makeshift board, back in its plastic. Okay, so that is plans. Now haul. I do have a fair amount of haul because I had fun. It's always fun when you go to a different LNS. They have different things. Silver Needle seems to carry some of the like French designers more than my LNS here does. But the first things I'll show you are these. I got 2 scissor fobs. So this is the same Fern Ridge, and it's a lot brighter. The picture I don't think does it justice. We saw all these in person, but it's a little fishy with all these sea things. And then for the class, you had a choice. You could do floral or Halloween, and I chose floral because I thought it would be better to have out more of the year than just Halloween. But you could, they did have some extra kits, and I didn't buy the whole box and everything for the Halloween one, but I did really like the scissor fob, so I did buy it. And I love how they name them. And they can tell you, the ladies were talking about their different designs, and they would say, oh yeah, and such and this, and they knew all the names. Excuse me. All right, so then I just bought a bunch of charts, of course. I hadn't ever seen this designer's Cosford Rise Stitchery. This is Peppermint House. They had one of these done up. It was really cute. It's hard to see in the plastic. I should have left this. This was the one I was using as a board. I should have left it out. And then my friend and I both picked up this one from Shakespeare's Peddler. It's Most Wonderful. So it's a Christmas one. And we're going to look and see if we can find those buttons somewhere. They didn't have them there at Silver Needle. And then I had seen several people working on these, so I went ahead and picked them up. Another new to me designer, Robin Pickens. And so she's got several of these seasonal courier. So this is Robin Spring. And you've probably seen some of these before. They didn't have summer, so I'll have to order that one. Blackbird's Autumn. These really have pretty colors. And I think they're just DMC. They did it on Prim 25 count. I'll do it on 32. And then this is Cardinal's Winter. So I'll have to order the summer one from somewhere. And then I did get, there was one other one of hers that I really liked. It was a bigger one. Sweater Weather Winter Pinecone. Isn't that pretty? Just really pretty colors. I liked all the colors she had. And then I was looking for all 4 of these. I saw Stitching Big Things with Hallie, I think is the Flosstube name. She's been doing these, and they're so cute. So this is Puntini Puntini When I Think of Spring. And they only had spring and summer. They didn't have the autumn and winter, so I'll have to get those. And they come, I don't think I showed you on this one, that comes with cute little buttons. And there's summer. And it has a sailboat and a watermelon. So again, I'll have to find the other two. And then I saw this one was another Puntini Puntini Summer Trio. Just cute little BT summery. Just some smalls. I need to start more smalls. And then I found a couple on the sale table. This is By the Bay, Lavender and Lilac. So it's their Stitch and Inch. This is Lavender and Lilac. And purple is my favorite color. So you can stitch them kind of whatever formation you want to. And then I guess you can mix them with other ones if you want a multicolored one. I didn't, yeah, so I didn't look for any of the others there. And then I have, I'm not sure how you say this, designer Curie, but Takori. I have the seasonal calendars, but this was an Easter one and I didn't have the Easter one. So I've actually started the winter one. And then the Jeanette Douglas, I think these are fairly new. Uh-oh, my ring light just went out. Oh well, I don't know what happened there. Okay, well, we'll just carry on. This is, they're the Budding Bouquet, so this is number 1, Autumn. That might even be better than having a ring light. Winter. Number 3, Spring. And number 4, Summer. And then I had seen this one. I don't know if anybody's been stitching it. I don't remember. But the blue flower. This is Bees in the Greenhouse. And it's just such a fun shape. So you stitch it like this. And then you put it together like that. I thought it was pretty. And then this is another one from Market. I think that might have been from Market. This is Silver Creek Samplers. Independence Day, so ants. I thought it was really cute. They finished it very cute with some watermelon fabric and some rickrack. And then this was a Little House Needlework. The pattern itself was free. You just paid for the new Classic Colorworks. So you can do it either using all of them or just monochromatic with your favorite color, or do it 3 times. This was another new Market one that I hadn't gotten yet. It's by Little Stitch Girl, Nightmare on Plaid Street. They had those done up in the shop. They are super cute. So fun. Like I said, too many things, not enough time. This is a Plum Street sampler. I'm not sure if it's in copyright 2023. American Welcome. My Canadian friend even loved this one. She's like, I'd have to change the flag and, you know, some of the words, but now that'll be some stitching when you get down in that water. But it's really pretty. And then Ink Circles Jolly Green. I think this was a Market release also. They had it done up there. It was really pretty. And then I had been eyeing this one for a while and I finally decided to get it. This is Autumn Lane Stitchery, the Collectors. So one of the other ladies that was there that we were hanging out with, sorry, there's so much glare on this one. She said she was working on this and then she read the story behind it and she's like, oh, and she put it away for a while. So they didn't have, it calls for Yule by Seraphim, and they didn't have that at the shop. So we looked around to see what we could find and we found this one. And when we first looked at it, we're like, oh, that's going to be kind of dark. But then when she opened it up, there was a lighter spot of it. And so I think that's gonna look really good. It's gonna be kind of creepy. And it is Sequoia. Does it say who it is? No. So I don't know who the fabric dyer is on that one. I should have asked. They just wrote Sequoia on the paper that they attached to it. And then we also get, they last couple of times they've given us a fat quarter free. And so this is what I picked out. It's Stream. And again, I don't know whose it is, but it's a real pretty blue, a little bit of green, but real nice. Okay, that's it. That's all my haul, all my whips. So I will be back. It will probably be later in June because I'm going on a cruise the first week in June, so I won't have any time to stitch the first week in June unless I have time to do it right at the end of May. So it'll be a little bit later before I'm back again probably, but we'll see. Hopefully I'll have finished the wedding gift for my son and it's off to be framed, and then we'll see what else I get done. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.